Okay, so this video is about those that should be marked for death. I waited until it was dark out so I could catch everybody on a roost and staying still for the most part. So makes it easier to say who's who. Obviously none of my hens are gonna go. So they got a big old bunch of food down there. And obviously not 7. Now, I was given the eggs that hatched out these, what turned out to all be roosters, from my buddy, and I'm not really interested in breeding Phoenix. I wouldn't mind being able to get the long tail incorporated into my breeds, but they're not anything special. So I'm thinking, sadly, that as pretty as he is, with his long tail, this fella's gonna go. And so is he. And so is he. Him, well, like I said on the video about 7, my original intent with breeding was to get this appearance with all that red on top of black. So since he's so much similar, I may keep him. Now that one and that one and this one were all supposed to be half Samani as well, but they don't appear to be. They've never really been fully black. They never were. 7 was entirely black right from the start. He gained the red feathers later. Even his comb was black when it first started growing. So I'm thinking definitely this guy. He's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to go. The lack of a comb is kind of weird, but the tail says that these are indeed roosters and the way they're behaving too. So him and him there are kind of on the maybe list. They'll be the last to go after I see how they develop when there's not other roosters around. I think they're underdeveloped yet rooster-like appearance and behavior is because they're just a more submissive rooster. Their hormones are holding them back because there's bigger guys right beside them all the time. Ultimately, I wanted to breed pure black I am Samani with, especially, where are they at? Oh, Penny and Copper. That's Copper right there. And there's Penny. I know the difference because Copper is a lot darker. So I wanted to see what I get there because their eventual feather pattern is supposed to be very similar to how his neck is, with the black stripe in the middle and red on the edges. So that means we've got a guaranteed 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and a 6 maybe. Another 7 guaranteed. He is down there already. And they're all going to be dog food. You can't kill chickens in front of chickens. They'll figure it out and none of them will ever trust you again. And well, I gotta add me a chopping block and a hanging line for them out there somewhere, out of their sight. So we'll get there. It's a couple months out. I have to buy myself a good and proper saw to be able to have a good chopping block out there somewhere. And a line strung up like a clothesline to hang them from so the blood drips out. And then I'll boil them in a stock pot. Blanch them at first. Pull all the feathers and throw them in whole otherwise, because if they're dog food, I ain't gonna worry about gutting them or anything. Just end their life quick and humanely as possible and roll on with things. And by the way, if anybody's seen any of the early, let's leave this video on a good note. If anybody's seen any of the earlier videos about the Araucana Samani, it's the only way I can explain the random little black feathers that are just spotted here and there. Barely any. But you see them puffy cheeks? She is definitely Araucana. At least part. She continued to just keep them puffy cheeks even when she grew. Some of the others look a little puffy, but she's a cutie. I'm going to keep her around one way or the other and just see what kind of stuff she does. Can't wait till I can figure out a way. I'll divide somehow to make sure that the eggs I get from her are hers and only bred by Mr. 7. Or if I can get it, a full-blooded Samani, and see what the results are. And I do still want to get full-blooded Samanis to breed with too. But they're not a cold hardy bird, so I've got to make sure of whether or not the heat in there is good for them through the winter, and get a thermometer and stuff, or otherwise guarantee that I've got some way to keep them warm, because you can't just throw something that's from Indonesia into these temperatures in Virginia and expect them to survive just fine. Nonetheless, so super cute. Look at the fluff. Yeah, she's a pretty girl. Even with she got a bunch of pumpkin all over her face. This is some canned pumpkin. One of the benefits of my job is I can do that. I can get a bunch of random thrown away food and feed it to them all the time, so they get to eat all kinds of cool stuff. All right, well, y'all have a good one.